All right, guys, Kurt at Hemispheres Amusements. I'm accessorizing a Deadpool premium for a customer. We do offer this service for our customers local and out of state. So if you want us to prep your game and throw the accessories on, we'll do this and then recreate the game right back in the factory packaging. It shows up just like it would from Stern. Been doing this 30 years, done tons of this stuff. Today I'm going to show you art blades. This is probably one of the trickier items to put on a game if you've never done them. There are guys that do them with the playfield in the game. I'm not one of them. I like pulling the playfield and getting the cabinet clean because I've seen grease on the cabinet. And I can get them perfect this way. So when we put them on, they're factory perfect. If you've never raised your playfield before, this is an apron. It is metal. You lift straight up. These are protectors. I do use them. I like them. They do offer protection so that when you do get the playfield back in the game or you're ever raising and lowering the playfield, once you have art blades, it'll protect those blades. If you don't have a set, get them. They are basically just a protector. It's magnetic, so it slides in between the playfield and the cabinet, and it protects your cabinet or your art blades from the playfield scarring it, or mirror blades if you use those. Once the playfield is out of the game, I have it on the rubber bumpers here, right in the cross rail. That's the position I put him in. I'm kind of crafty because a lot of times I'm on my own here. If I have guys that are out on the road, so I'm going to pull this playfield by myself. If you're going to do this, you're obviously not going to do it on the floor like I'm doing it. Your legs will be on the game. What you would want to do is have two people. One person is going to be on each side grabbing the playfield here and at the back, and you're both going to, let's just say it's on the legs right now, you're both going to pull the playfield out of the game, and then you would walk around the game, and I just use the chair here, and you would set this playfield on the floor with the flippers on the floor. What I do is I just take the playfield and set it on foam, and that's it. It's resting on foam. They give you plenty of wire to do that. I always check each playfield. I already know I've done a ton of these. If there's any fragile mechanisms, when I'm done, I raise the playfield. I check everything on the bottom side. Never damage when doing it this way. Just use some good foam. At this point now, I can do two things. One, clean the cabinet very well. And by the way, there is a loom in the cabinet. You can take this one out, and it even gives you more wiring. At this point, I take my blades out, my protectors out. I'm going to grab some rubbing alcohol and a rag. I'm going to clean my cabinet. I'm going to show you why I do this, because even a clean, brand new cabinet will have dirt. Or grease. They use grease on these rails in here. These two rails, and I've seen grease right on the cabinet, but that's from a brand new cabinet. So I always give it a good wipe down before I put my art blades on, and they stick much better. Now from there, I had a lot of people complain about Stern's art blades, the way they roll them up in a box and they're creased and crinkled. Yeah, they are, but they will not affect the install. If you just take the blade, a lot of times, if they're really rolled up for a long time, I'll take them and lay them under glass for a day. You know, I'll leave them overnight, and they're nice and flat. It's not absolutely necessary, but I do that. So this is the right side. I'm going to slide the cabinet over. I'm on a piece of cardboard here. Now the trick for me is the top edge. Notice this piece right here? That will sit pretty much right on there. And that's about the perfect height when you're at the right position. You have the bolt hole for the back box hinge. I line that up. I eyeball my upper edge here. And I lightly just feather this top edge all the way down. And from there, I then feather from the middle out to the back. These are nice and thick and they fit perfect. And then I do the front. And the good part is, see this here, I got a little wrinkle. Okay, big deal. Pull it back. Done. And you'll notice, see that? You are dead on right here if you do it right. And then I put a little heat in it. Just get a little warmth in there by rubbing it. And that edge is about as perfect as it gets. If you look at an LE game that Stern sends out, they're done the same exact way as far as getting them dead on. I'm going to switch sides. I'll put this one on. Oops, I'm sorry. You can stand right in and stay there. So this side's a little trickier because you got the wiring, but basically I come in here, I come under the wiring, find the bolt hole, you just get a nice straight edge here. The key is just float, don't stick. And then when you're happy, just that top edge, right here, all the way down. That's it. I know I make them look easy, but I've done hundreds and hundreds of these, so just take your time and they'll go right on. Now the important part is, and also room temperature, you know, make sure it's not too cold. And if it is a little chilly, if you're doing it somewhere it's a little chilly, whatever, just throw a little heat in them, a hair dryer or whatever. Don't use a heat gun, but maybe like a hair dryer. Get that adhesive nice and tacky. And then that's really about it. Now when I'm putting my playfield back on, obviously I'm going to use my protectors now. Because you can scar your, not only your art blades, but your rails. This particular game is going to get the katana rails, but I'll do those last because why damage them? And then when you go to put your playfield back in, you're basically both going to pick it up, come around the front of the cabinet. You're going to put your bumpers back on the rail. And if you line it up just right, that playfield will drop right in. You put your wiring back in your loom. I always just lift it up. I take a peek down here, you know, it pretty much will sit on your bumpers, the brackets here. You know, the motor, I just take a peek, make sure I didn't bend nothing, everything's good. Back in you go. You now have our blades. Thanks for watching.